Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX Deep Dive. Today we will be looking at Prime Minister Narendra Modi's scheme for farmers over the past 11 years. Today Prime Minister Modi has launched two major schemes, PM Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojna and Mission for Atmanirbharta in pulses in the agriculture sector with an outlay of 35,440 crore rupees. PM Modi was at IARI to participate in a special Krishi program. PM Modi interacted with farmers at the Indian Agricultural Institute for Research in Delhi, and the visuals that you can see on your screens. Prime Minister Modi spoke with farmers engaged in pulses cultivation. In true spirit of helping out its citizens, PM Modi also asked these farmers about their produce, challenges as well as future aspirations. These farmers explained to the Prime Minister how they have benefited from various government schemes aimed at establishing a value chain-based approach in agriculture, animal husbandry and fisheries. These farmers stated that they have also gained from membership in farmer producer organizations and support under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. Addressing the special Krishi program, Prime Minister Modi said the schemes will transform the fortunes of millions of farmers in India. He also added these schemes focus on the country's self-reliance and the welfare of farmers. Remember, on February 28, 2016, Prime Minister Modi had publicly announced the goal of doubling farmers' income by 2022.
कि 2022 जब आजादी के 75 साल होंगे तब तक हम किसान की इनकम को दोगुना कर देंगे, उसकी आय दोगुना कर देंगे। क्या ये काम हम कर सकते हैं भाई?
PMDDKY is a comprehensive agricultural transformation mission launched by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare to modernize Indian farming through technology, irrigation, credit and market reforms. The 24,000 crore rupee Pradhan Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojna aims to transform 100 low-performing agri-districts. The scheme will focus on enhancing productivity, promoting crop diversification, improving irrigation and storage, and also ensuring credit access in the select 100 districts. The two schemes, already approved by the Cabinet, will be implemented from the upcoming Rabi season till 2030-31. Amongst the projects inaugurated are artificial insemination training centers in Bengaluru and Jammu and Kashmir, centers of excellence at Amreli and Banas, an IVF lab in Assam under the Rashtriya Gokul Mission, milk powder plants at Mehsana, Indore and Bhilwara, and a fish feed plant under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojna at Tezpur. Doubling down on this stance, the Prime Minister Modi government has earlier too rolled out several flagship schemes to boost 11 crore Indian farmers' incomes and also modernize agriculture. Amongst the various schemes under the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, small and marginal farmers receive 6,000 rupees annually through direct bank transfers. Well, the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojna also provides insurance against crop loss due to natural calamities and pests. To improve soil productivity, the Soil Health Card scheme helps farmers test and balance nutrients in their land. The Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojna focuses on expanding irrigation and efficient water use under the motto Har Khet Ko Pani. The ENAM digital platform links markets across states for transparent price discovery, while the Kisan Credit Card scheme ensures easier access to loans for cultivators, fishermen, as well as livestock farmers. Together, these schemes reflect the government's goal of doubling farmers' incomes and driving technology-led sustainable agriculture. In fact, minimum support price is a crucial mechanism through which the government supports farmers by purchasing their crops at a predetermined price. MSP prices have also increased significantly from 2014-2015 to 2024-25. This overall increase has been reflected in a substantial rise in total MSP payments to farmers, which increased from 1.06 lakh crore rupees to 3.33 lakh crore rupees during this period. In fact, the government has announced MSPs for 22 mandated crops to ensure remunerative prices for farmers. This assured price encourages farmers to invest in quality seeds and technology without fear of distress sales. The government's proactive measures have ensured enhanced procurement and timely payments to farmers, ensuring that the benefits of MSP hikes translates into tangible support. Over the years, procurement mechanisms have been strengthened, leading to greater participation by farmers across states and commodities. These measures underline the government's long-term strategy of using MSP not only as a safety net for farmers, but also as a driver of national self-sufficiency in key crops. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, India's agricultural sector has achieved record food grain production and is on track to become the world's food basket. Such schemes are expected to boost overall national production and also strengthen India's global food position. Joining us live in the broadcast is Indrashekhar Singh, Agri Policy Analyst. Indrashekhar, welcome. Thank you for being with us today on NewsX. Before we begin with the discussion, of course, on the farm sector as a whole and the result of such schemes and the impact of the higher MSPs as well for farmers, and this goal of Prime Minister Modi's of doubling farmers' incomes. But let's just talk about this scheme to begin with. This fresh scheme that has been launched today, what do you make of it? How game-changing can it be?
See you there. First of all, thank you very much for having me on NewsX. And I would begin by congratulating the Indian government that this is definitely a big leap in agricultural policy thinking. What the government has done is they've managed to merge 36 schemes across 11 ministries in one PM scheme called the Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, the PMDD, it's quite a numbersome
PMDDKY.
Also, PMDDKY. And this is definitely a big leap into how we can combine all our services together, and the farmer, like the industry, now has to go to the one window, one scheme to avail all the benefits that are there in agriculture. So definitely that's, I think, a very good step towards actually a future where farmers can have more access to these schemes. Now, having said that, you've already underlined and spoken about some of the salient features. So the genius of the scheme, I think, lies in the fact that it's the farmers, they need credit, they need good technology, they need good seeds, they need the loans, they need the storage facilities, they need all these things. Now, what the government says on paper, if it's able to implement that, I think agriculture in India will change forever. Right now, most of the biggest problems in India are post-harvest losses, weather, weather climate changes, and then the farmers' inability to secure loans at a very low premium. So all these problems are being solved immediately with the scheme. Now, having said that, I will say that there will be some challenges for the government. First of all, will be how are you going to coordinate this expansive scheme, which runs across all these other departments. So that will be a big challenge, and we are waiting to see how the PM does this, or how the Indian state government do this. One other thing I must mention is, for example, states like Uttar Pradesh have actually taken this, the PM scheme and said, we are going to add our own schemes on top of this. So Uttar Pradesh has sanctioned 5,000 crores to add to the Pradhan Mantri DDKY. So that's, again, a very brilliant step for farmers. Now, the second challenge that the government will experience is how are these farmers in these low performing areas, how will they have access to these schemes? This will be the second biggest challenge, because most time there's very little literacy, there's little technological literacy. People don't have access to, these forms and these digital infrastructure. So how is the PM and the government of India and the state governments going to ensure that these schemes, the information about these schemes and the awareness about these schemes reaches the last person in these villages and in these target areas? And I'm sure the government has some plans, but we have to see how they play out. Now, again, there is also, you talked about crop insurance, which is, again, a very wonderful thing, because if the government is monitoring from the seed level to the loan level, then if there is, for example, a climate attack or a weird climate temp, like a cloud burst or something, the government will exactly know on which account to send the money on, because they've already highlighted some of these farmers. So we have to see how, this is, again, I say, a very big leap towards agricultural policy
and it can help. It can help in disaster relief and immediate disaster relief, as you're saying as well. Now, let me ask you about MSPs and how MSP increases have also helped increase farmers' incomes over the years, and also in particular this year itself, Indrashekhar.
See, the thing is, MSP, again, is a very, I think there is too much noise around it anyways, but I think generally, if MSP prices are increased year on year, keeping in mind the inflation, it is overall good for the farm economy. It is good for the farmers. Now, I'm not saying that every farmer in this country gets MSP. Sometimes MSP is the maximum price they can get, but still it's a good step, because farm prices need to go in hand in hand with the current inflation trends. If you don't give farmers that, then you're depriving them of their economic right and economic justice. So I think it's a good step, and whether some farmers get it or many farmers get it, I think it's definitely the step in the right direction. The government should follow it up with some kind of procurement mechanism also, not just in the aspirational districts, but across all over India. So all the farmers are integrated to a system where the minimum support price is actually the minimum support price that they get for their crops and grains.
Absolutely. And of course, finally then, what are some of the other measures that have worked, on ground and reaped dividends for farmers in increasing their output and bettering their lives?
See, I think one thing which I think the government has also stressed on these things. For example, the emphasis on organic farming. Now we've already seen the urea crisis that the country is facing. We cannot be dependent on foreign nations for urea supplies or for DAP supplies. We have to go back and spend a lot more money in trying to rejuvenate our own traditional methods and our own organic methods. And I think the government is doing that, but that is a direct value addition for all our crops. Now, a simple example is that if India is growing organic cotton, no matter how many tariffs are put on Indian farmers, the demand for organic cotton in the world is going to always keep increasing, and it's going to fetch a lot more money for the Indian farmers. So India should develop, like in the vision of APEDA, for a 50 billion export economy with organics as the vanguard of our policy. We need to have more and more farmers moving towards organic farming, and the government should support this so that the taxpayers, money that's lost in giving fertilizer subsidies is actually recovered, and India as a nation becomes more healthy. Our rivers, our water become more healthy. So organics is definitely number one. Second is we have to focus on agroforestry also, which is, I don't think so there's much mention of it, but bamboo farming is coming up. There's a whole world of agroforestry which is now opening up, especially with the government's mission of having at least 7% of biomass pellets in the NTPC plants or in the thermal power plants. So the government should support these plantations of bamboo and other things, and maybe there could be a category of expanding the land ceiling limits for farmers who are actually gaining carbon credits and also producing these agroforestry plantations, so that can benefit the nation and also the energy supply.
Indrashekhar Singh, appreciate you joining us with your perspective on this big story. Slipping into a very short break, much more coming up on the other side.